Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk The Expanse. In fact, it's time to talk the season finale of season 2 of The Expanse. This end of season has kind of snuck up on me because I've been trained by all of you, the super awesome viewers and commenters of this show, to think of this in terms of the books. And the second book doesn't end until a few episodes into season 3, and that's sort of where my head's been. And yet we've clearly been building to this climax here at the end of season 2. We've gotten away from Ganymede. Naomi and Amos are on the Weeping Somnambulist. They're being escorted by the Rocinante, and there's a Caliban on the outside. It might be the only one, but there is at least the one that we spotted on the hull of the Rocinante as it leaves Ganymede. How do you kill these things? Are they killable? Is there any way to kill the protomolecule other than nuking it? Do we even know for sure that nuking it would do it? We sent Eros into the super dense Venetian atmosphere at high speed. Eros burnt up, but the protomolecule survived, and it's growing in a crater on the surface of Venus. The Caliban, we haven't really seen it be tested with any sort of violence. It was freed by the explosion last episode from its cage, so we know they can at least be contained, but can they be harmed? Can they be killed? What is their, what's the Caliban's intention? Does it still have the mind of the host human? Is it completely controllable by the scientists that created it? So many questions about the Caliban. But now the Rossi have to deal with it. It's a weird time to bring it up, frankly, but there's something I needed to bring up because I keep forgetting to talk about it at the end of episodes, even though we've been slowly talking about leaking the information out all season long. And I want to talk about the backstories of our Rossi crew. We've learned a little bit about Holden because Christian went to go visit his family ranch in Montana and met his mom, and we got some background about Holden. But we're Naomi and Alex and Amos, super interesting characters, and we know the roughest details of their past, but we're beginning to learn more. And what we're learning more about is their family situations, which I think is super interesting. Naomi, it would appear, had a child. What happened to that child, we have no idea. What happened to the father of that child, no clue. But she's a mother missing her child. We've hinted around that a couple of times, and I think it was just last episode where she actually came out and admitted it when she was talking to Prax. Alex has a family back on Mars that may or may not still be alive, a wife and a child. But as Amos confronted him a number of episodes back, why aren't you helping them? You're so keen on helping all of these refugees here on Tycho Station. You're a good Samaritan, but why aren't you helping your own family? So you know that there's a story there, and sooner or later we're going to learn what it is. But I'm intrigued, and I'm most intrigued by Amos himself because he grew up rough on Earth in Baltimore. We know his birth mother probably died. He got separated from his birth mother early on. He was raised by another woman, and that woman worked in or ran a brothel. We know Amos is comfortable around brothels. He's very comfortable around prostitutes. He doesn't, not as a John, but as somebody who understands them. He's very comfortable in that environment. He's also very comfortable around pedophiles. And it makes you wonder whether he was a child sex worker. Yeah, it just... I feel like the more we'll learn about Amos, the more it'll be heartbreaking, the more it'll explain why he's so detached, why violence is one of his first go-tos as a response, why he's got this really interesting relationship with Naomi, this sort of... She's always looking out for him. Like, he's damaged goods, but he's super interesting, and I'm... like, he's fast to become one of my favorite characters on the show. So I don't know whether we're going to learn any more about them in this episode. It's a season finale. Usually that stuff sort of comes out in the quieter moments of the series, but you never know. But I just wanted to point it out because the show's been doling that stuff out so casually and so lightly that blink and you miss it, and yet it's building this really cool foundation that will probably one day become a much more interesting story. But right now I'm just super intrigued, and I'm excited for the resolution to last episode's cliffhanger. There's a frickin' Caliban on the outside of the Rocinante, for freak's sakes. So let's watch the season finale of season 2. This one's called Caliban's War.
Just make a haul, we'll get on the elevator and go back to our ship.
I can't do that.
We've got a problem.
Shit. I didn't think that would go to shootout. Oh, he got hit.
Well, that's disappointing.
I hope he makes it out. I'm digging him. Oh.
I'll take you to the med
I can
bay.
get there on my own. Doc will take care of me.
Okay, so they've left the somnambulist.
Did you kill that thing from the lab?
No. It doesn't matter. I almost traded your lives to do it. It won't happen again.
You've got a Caliban outside.
How's it look?
If you were a fern, I'd say you have a fatal lack of chlorophyll.
You're not nearly green enough.
That thing that broke out of the lab. Do you think that used to be a kid?
It's a good question.
So.
You want a hell of a pilot.
Well,
gosh. that caught him off guard.
Multiple punctures astern, but she's a tough girl. A little TLC and she'll be right as rain. You up for a little patchwork?
Sure.
There's probably a hole somewhere. Oh, God. Can it get in?
Pressure door is completely inoperative. That is a hell of a lot of shrapnel damage.
It came in.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's on board.
We have to kill it.
Can you kill it? It looks hurt.
It's not doing anything dangerous.
and we're not gonna give it a chance to. It's a killing machine.
It's not a machine.
It's not human.
It clearly was once.
Not anymore.
I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna talk to
No, you're not. All we have to do is make sure it gets onto the hull so Alex can roll the ship and dump it into the drive plume.
Hold it.
Rax, we gotta burn that thing down to its fucking atoms.
Is there a plan B?
Yeah, make sure plan A works.
Oh, God. Trax has to think this way, though, because it's the only way he can hang on to hope that his daughter is recoverable. Because right now he has to figure his daughter's... If this isn't his daughter's at least being converted into one.
Where the hell is that thing?
Jesus.
I don't see it. Me neither.
I would be scared shitless going in there.
Lower deck aft. There's no good
Yeah.
cover on that position.
That's right underneath you guys.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Jeez, it's big.
It looks like it's scratching itself.
Was it shot? Oh.
What the fuck was that?
It had a grenade, like... It was like a Suicide Squad rig. Jeez. Holy shit.
Amos, you're losing air. You need to get out of here now. Get out of here. You're no good to anyone dead.
Okay, okay, okay. This doesn't seem as hostile. Are we gonna have a conversation here? It's almost acting like a scared kid. Still scary as fuck, but... Jeez, it's big.
Maybe it no longer considers you a threat.
Clearly it's intelligent.
Oh, is that why you
We
didn't...
can speculate about its intelligence after we get it out of this shit.
We were hurting that thing for sure.
Guys, are you seeing this?
That thing's trying to get to the reactor.
If it punctures the chamber,
We're more or less fucked.
More or less.
I found a way out.
What's Gunny
There's a
gonna do?
maintenance crawl on the other side of that wall.
That is not going to work.
Right. You'd never make that climb.
Jesus Christ, not because I'm old. He's been shot.
Plus, she's really old.
I'll hold it as long as I can.
And then what?
Go to the airlock.
You run out of ammo sooner or later.
Go!
Alright, alright, alright.
I want to negotiate.
You do?
But you crush enough muscle and it starts leaking potassium into your blood. Your suit can only filter out so much of that, then your heart stops.
You know a lot about how people die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a living organism, which means it has to have some constraints.
Guys, O2 regulator valve got stuck open. The pressure in the suit went way up. So we welded the valve shut.
But that would eventually
Yes,
take...
his suit like a balloon and it popped him out like a missile. Well, that's a happy story, but what's your point?
Do that to the room.
We overpressurized them all. We popped the hatch to the cargo bay. It'll blow that big door right off, along with that thing.
That kind of pressure change will rip him apart.
Maybe not.
you gotta do it.
No!
I'm gonna find another way.
That's an order.
Oh, the drama. I love it.
There's no doubt about it, that crater is active.
This is where you say we have to descend so we can get close for our sensors to get meaningful readings.
And then you point out that we'd be at the edge of what our ship is rated for, and that our Martian shadow is probably going to shoot at us.
They understand each other. Oh. Why do I love spaceship animation so much?
When you said Holden could survive this, you were lying.
Yeah.
Do not blow the hatch until I tell you to.
Yeah, it's last resort. But he's making his own decisions.
Stand by for 0G.
Killing all the power.
It stopped digging.
It's still attached to the ground. Like, 0G doesn't seem to affect it. I don't think it's necessarily violent to hold. Oh, you're never gonna get it.
Sorry, Haas. Powering up.
Oh shit.
You're losing a lot of blood.
I'll try to bleed slower.
Asking what the alternatives are.
Keep going. Keep going. Quick. Go up. Go up. Or Jeez. It was our own little speed moment right there. Are those panels going to inflate? They look like they're going to inflate.
Crosswinds over 300 kph. Watch the shear.
Adjusting trim.
300 kph crosswinds? Jesus. You're dropping into like the biggest hurricane ever.
Martian ship, it's on an intercept course.
Oh, it's going past you.
Damn it, they're gonna beat us to it.
They're gonna get infected if they land in the crater.
Shit.
Damn, Gunny!
Oops.
So they're like handprint Or fingerprint secure. He hasn't seen this yet, I guess.
Jim, are there any mining charges on this ship?
I don't think so. Just stop for a second.
Not yet.
I need to talk to you, please.
We'll talk after.
No, now. If this is my time, if I die here, let me go.
Are you saying you regret it? Everything we've done since the Canterbury?
No. Yes, but only because I don't get to spend more time with you.
Damn it.
So unless you can see how to get you out safe and get that thing off our ship, don't talk to me. Not until I've fixed this.
Okay.
Tell him I need comm access.
He's done. He's passed.
Sorry, you cannot go into shock.
She needs comm access.
I can't do that. Leave the undersecretary, and you can go.
No.
We have Mao's little racing ship and another shuttle dock. You and the Martian can take it and go.
Christian might say yes to that, but he won't.
We both know how this goes. Important, powerful people start fighting each other. It's people like us that die.
Give me the gun.
We're doing this wrong. Hear me out. It's a nutrient gradient. If we give it a better food source that's easier to reach, we won't have to force it out.
It'll go out on its own. Okay. So you just tease it outside by trailing a warhead right behind the ship?
Ask yourself, is he worth it?
Who?
Mao.
The man you serve here. Does he deserve your sacrifice? You're about to lay down your life for an unworthy master.
If I let you in, you'll let me go?
You have my word.
Rough me up a little, just so they don't think, you know.
Sure.
I thought patching up a bullet wound was gonna be the strangest thing I did today. I keep thinking I'll tell May about this when I get home.
I hope Prax sticks around as part of the crew.
Pretends to care.
I'm liking his dynamic with the rest of the crew.
In case I have to kill you, I just wanted to say thanks. You made some pretty stupid choices since you've been in charge, but you were always trying to do the right thing. So.
Yeah.
I love you too, bro.
It's nice not having to worry about being on the right team.
You bet.
That actually means a lot to him.
If you're going to sell me out, I understand. It's the rational choice. But you have to stop Ehrenreich. You owe me that.
I don't owe you anything.
My son.
Yes, your son. I owe him, not you.
Huh.
I'm paying him back by keeping his mother safe.
I don't answer to you. This is Christian Avasarala. Hold your fire. I'm coming out.
Why do I think she's just gonna talk them to death?
Clean up the mess.
Yes, sir. I understand. It's nothing personal.
He's the mess, not her.
I'm so sorry.
She's more valuable alive to Mao than dead, I think.
Warhead is open.
Oh, I can smell it.
Guys, it's working.
Okay. It's a softball. Nuclear softball.
It's out the door. It's headed your way.
Holy shit. Oh, this is such an awesome shot.
Get ready.
Here it comes.
Steady, Prax.
This was a kid.
Prax.
He's trying to see if it's May.
Wait.
Daddy?
No! Damn it!
Come on, Prax! Holy shit!
Prax! It's not me!
Okay. What are the odds it can propel itself through space? Or is it just like free floating now? Spaced.
Firing up the barbecue.
There we go. Whoosh. Alright. That seems to kill it. But yeah, you literally have to turn it to atoms. Wow.
I think the crater is moving.
Sir, the Martian ship is gone.
What do you mean gone?
It just vanished off our scopes.
It got absorbed. What the hell? Did you just get caught by the protomolecule?
We've stopped. That's impossible.
Yeah. You guys are screwed.
You're sure it's gone?
Damn straight. He stripped it right down to its nuclei.
Do we know that it's the only one?
Thank you.
I'm glad you're okay. Glad I didn't have to kill you, brother.
You too.
For us.
I have something I need to say to you.
Is she gonna come clean about the sample?
How bad could it be?
I lied to you.
The protomolecule has changed everything. Except everything it didn't. Sides change sometimes. What we think we're fighting for. It's part of being human. An ugly part, but I don't think it will ever change. No weapon ever brings peace. No one knows what the
It just
protomolecule
got
wants or what it's doing, but they are using it anyway.
got obliterated. But
It's already scattered too far to ever
no,
be
it got
sure it'll all be gone.
disassembled. What the hell? What the hell is this?
We can't wish it away. Earth has it. Mars has it. And the belt needs it too. I never sent our torpedo into the sun.
Who's
I
got it?
couldn't do it.
Oh, that's gonna be Dawes' team.
I was sure we were all going to die there. And that our sample would be lost.
So, did she tell Drummer? Who'd she tell?
What did you do?
I gave the protomolecule to Fred Johnson.
Jeez. Better than Dawes, I think, but wow. She's right though. If Earth has it, if Mars has it, and the belt doesn't have it, the belt's hoot. Okay. Is this a flashback or is this now?
Sweet dreams.
Is she being put on ice? Or is she being converted? Where are we? Still in Ganymede? Ah! The story's definitely not over. The book's not finished, but what a great way to end the season. 2 really tense situations on ships. That's pretty much all this was. I didn't even talk about ChrisGen on Mao's ship. Because, I don't know, I felt like at the end of last episode when they had their showdown and Mao left, that I was naive. I assumed ChrisGen would just leave with her team and the playing field had been changed. But no, of course there's armed guards there and they want to keep ChrisGen or kill her. Unclear, but there's a threat either way. I love the dynamic between ChrisGen and her security guy. I need to learn his name. I'm going to have to watch an episode with the subtitles on just so I can read the captions and catch people's names. But when he was given the opportunity to get out alive, again, I wasn't sure. I love how subtle this show is, and I misread it. Again, I'll admit it. I felt like ChrisGen was giving her tacit approval for him to go and that she would figure out a way to extricate herself just through the power of her words, because we've seen how good she is. She is the best negotiator in the history of fiction. She's the smartest politician I've ever seen. I just wish she was real, but no, that wasn't the case. He was actually contemplating leaving her behind. It's just like Gunny said to that random, what was he, an engineer or whatever? Would you lay down your life for a for just a higher up that doesn't deserve it. That in the negotiating back and forth with the officer, it's like when powerful people fight, we're the ones that are expected to lay down our lives. And ultimately, he wasn't. Kris Jen's security guy isn't there because he owes her for losing her son. It's he owes her son, and he's paying her son back by protecting his mother. So he owes Kris Jen nothing. She's the favor, which I think is cool and changes their dynamic. But I'm glad that the three of them will get off that ship. That Gunny came in to save the day. That she managed to clear her final hurdle, not by beating people up, but by talking a guy down. I like that. I like that at any point a philosophical argument in this world might be the thing you need to win to achieve your goals. Because, as has been pointed out so many times in the comments, and which I really appreciate about this show, there are no good guys and bad guys in this show. Everyone is the hero of their own story in this show, and it's all about perspective. It's all about viewpoints. It's all about how you were raised, where you were raised, what you believe. But nobody is malicious in this show. It's all, everyone thinks they're doing the right thing, which is brilliant. And then we have the Rocinante, who I'm really crossing my fingers now has a regular fifth member on the crew. Prax. I hope he stays on board. He proved his worth here for sure. He figured out exactly what it was driving this Caliban into the bulkhead, and it's like basically taking the most direct route to the power core of the ship. So how do you lure it away? You give it an easier, strong power source, namely the warhead. But yeah, you could tell, like, in that final showdown outside the ship, when they've dismantled the nuke and they've got the core right there, and Prax is supposed to throw it up. He's like staring the Caliban dead in the eye, like trying to see if May is in there. Obviously, we have confirmation that it wasn't May by that last shot where she sort of tucked away like a body in the morgue. I think that was back on Ganymede, but it could have been somewhere else. It could have easily been somewhere else, but it looked like there were many of them. Don't know whether they had started the infection process with her. It didn't appear that there was any protomolecule in there with her, but who knows? But we do know that we saw one other kid that was being converted into a Caliban, which we torched back on Ganymede. We have to assume that there are other Calibans out there. But we also now know that, if you put one of them directly in the flame exhaust of a nuclear reactor, it will die. If you atomize it, it's dead. So that's certainly good to know. But the story's not over. There's a lot more going on. On the surface of Venus, the protomolecule lives. It's doing something. It disappeared this Mars ship that raced down to the surface. And it looks like it's done the same thing to this UN research vessel. It didn't destroy it. The people on board are still alive. It dismantled it. It blew it out like an engineering diagram. And what it's doing exactly, is it analyzing the technology? Is it going to start breaking things down into their component parts? What is it trying to do? But when they were doing their analysis from higher up, they said things like the temperature was cooling. It feels like it's almost starting to terraform Venus to some degree. Yeah, I don't know what's going on Venus, but Earth and Mars are both there. There's going to be Earthers and Martians down on the surface. They're still alive as of the last minute of this episode. How long that lasts, who knows? How long until they get infected by a proto-molecule, who knows. But I think this season can really sort of be, the second half of this season, this book can be summed up by Naomi's monologue at the end there when she was confessing to Holden. The proto-molecule has changed everything. We can't wish it away, we can't destroy it. There's too much of it, it's here, it's now part of the equation. And it changes everything. And if that's the case, and Earth already has it, and Mars already has it, because Mao is selling Caliban technology to both of them, or wants to anyway, then the Belters need to have it too. And so Naomi's choice when she thought that she was done for on the Somnambulist was, what do I do with this sample that I'm the only person in the world that knows exists? And she can either give it to Dawes, like if she's a Belter true and true. And so really her only choice is Fred Johnson or Dawes. And she chose Johnson, who's the more moderate choice, I suppose. I think she trusts Drummer's allegiance a lot. She and Drummer have a blossoming friendship, I think. And the fact that Drummer used to work for Dawes, doesn't trust Dawes anymore, now works for Fred. I think that went a long way in coloring Naomi's decision. Naomi's obviously crossed paths with Johnson. She's worked with Fred a bunch this last season. She knows Dawes fairly well from the past, but neither one inspires total confidence. But now Fred is tasked with being the caretaker of this incredibly important and dangerous thing. And the other thing is the sample that Fred has comes from the Anubis. It's an early form of the proto-molecule. It's been isolated from the proto-molecule that evolved on Eros, that's now on Venus, that it's separate from the proto-molecule that was experimented on to turn into the Calibans. So do we have different species of proto-molecule at this point? Do they do different things? Are they all still in contact with one another? I have questions for Cortazar, because he may be able to know the answers. Dawes has him. So Dawes is like the one power player that doesn't have the proto-molecule, but he does have the scientist who knows more about the proto-molecule than anybody else. I love the complexity of this world. I love that there's so much going on, and there's so many relationships and factors to consider with every issue. Cannot wait for Season 3. Season 3 is going to be a doozy. We're going to wrap up this storyline. I have no idea where it's going, but I'm loving it. I love that we're starting to see these hard divides between Earth and Mars and Belt mutate a little bit. I love seeing Gunny offer a hand to Christian to help her up at the end of the episode. I love that we've got another Belter on the Rossi crew. I love that Earth and Mars may be stuck down on Venus together. There's just so much happening here, and I still don't fully know the intent of the Caliban. It's scary, sure, but the only violent act it did in the cargo hold was throw that one piece of freight at Holden, and that was only when Holden and Amos were firing on it. It never attacked them. It was more concerned about gaining energy, gaining fuel, food. But maybe the Caliban aren't quite as dangerous as we're led to believe, or we assume. But maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part too. Maybe they're ruthless killing machines when they're properly motivated. And this was just a super weird situation for this one. They've also got these explosive fail-safes in their chest, just like the Suicide Squad bombs in the base of their brains. You know, it's like, if you're not following mission parameters, we'll blow you up. That's the fail-safe. Presumably that will kill them. Otherwise, what's the point? So that's good to know. Is it a little nuke, or is it something a little less drastic? Season 3's next, folks. Cannot wait. Can't wait for you guys to join me next week as we jump into that one. Love to hear your comments about this season. It's been amazing. Like, really, some awesome television. I'm thoroughly enjoying the ride. I hope you guys are enjoying the experience along with me. And until next week, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.